What's going on, Lock Talk family? It's been a minute, but I'm back. Let's go break down some of the MLB games. And hey, if you've been liking the content I've been dropping and you want to keep on seeing me come up here and dropping these gems, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. You always have a chance to win a free daily card when I do the raffles on Instagram. And yeah, make sure you go to that pinned comment. I put something special for everyone that's been watching the YouTube. The road to 1,000 subs is on the way, and let's go keep on crushing the books. Remember, it's us against the books, not us against each other. So let me talk about some of the spots that I do like today. It's early in the morning for the MLB. I've also been rocking the WNBA. I'm 4-1. Excuse me, on my last 5 WNBA plays in premium. So if you guys do want to tap into premium, make sure you use that code down below. Get one of my plans on my site. And yeah, man, let's go kill the books, dude. So let's talk about a few plays. I like 3 spots. Obviously, you want to know exactly what I'm giving out to all my clients, but you want a free week. I also have some partner apps you can sign up with. Just go to that pinned comment once again, and you can sign up. Just hit me up on Instagram or my email, and we'll get it rocking and rolling, man. All right? So let's just get straight to it. So let's talk about the first player, and this one's going to be a pretty, I guess I like to call it square pick, but I do think the matchup is very, very good. Let's talk about my man, Bobby Witt Jr. And his over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Hits, runs, and RBIs. So a lot of people like to do total bases, but hits, runs, and RBIs, I think it's not. I think it's an easier way for a guy to get over his prop. They need to get a hit, a run, or an RBI. It's in the goddamn name. But a hit, they just gotta get on base basically. A run is if they score themselves, or they can hit a home run. They obviously will help them score. Then RBIs are run batted in. So let's say even if he does a sacrifice fly and someone scores because of that hit, he'll get an RBI. So essentially, if someone's on base and he gets a hit, that's 2 hits, runs, and RBIs right there. 1 hit and 1 RBI. So let's get it going, man. Obviously, he hits a home run. That's 3 hits, runs, and RBIs. Get a hit, a run, and an RBI because you also bat a run bat in for yourself. So this is why my man Bobby Witt Jr. has been absolutely killing it, bro. Just look at this record. If I filtered it for home games, he's 70% over this number. He averages 4.5 hits, runs, and RBIs per game. That's absolutely incredible. And he, just like most of the batters on this team, he does very, very well at home. He gets a lot of plate appearances, which is very important because you want your batter to get as many chances at the plate as he can. Obviously, not every time he's at bat, he's going to get a hit. Sometimes he might get walked, which obviously sucks. But with the HRR, he can still get a run in if someone hits a good bomb. He scores as a result of it. That will count towards your hits, runs, and RBIs. And he's going against Carson Fulmer, who's not the best pitcher in my opinion. I mean, he's had some pretty tough outings. He went against the Blue Jays, gave up 5 earned runs. Yankees 2 earned runs. The Rockies 2 earned runs. 3 earned runs to the Athletics both times. Now he's going to be going against probably, if not one of the best hitter in the MLB in Bobby Witt Jr. I think he just has it a good spot, man. I mean, is it like the most unique play? No. I mean, it's a little bit juice, minus 120 for 2.5. Usually most guys are 1.5, but Bobby Witt, I think, has a good matchup against Carson Fulmer. I think he can get on base, at least get a hit, and possibly maybe get a home run on this guy, or at least get some RBIs in. So with the chance of getting at least 5 hit appearances, and with obviously the potential to get a home run or at least a really big hit, I like Bobby Witt in the spot. Are there other ways you can play? Yeah, I mean, you could do total bases. I mean, total bases, he's been 60% over this line. They have his line, I think, at 2.5 total bases at plus money. So just as a result, I'd rather just take the hits, runs, and RBIs. The pitch mix, I mean, Bobby Witt, this guy primarily throws the changeup. He's not the best against the changeup, but low strikeout rate, which is good. The sinker, he crushes this type of pitch. That's 23% of his pitch mix. And the last was the fastball. I mean, 0.42 expected on base average. I mean, that's pretty goddamn good. Doesn't really strike against the majority of his pitch mix, was about, if I look at the numbers, around 70%. So I think Bobby Witt has a good chance to get on base and hit us for this number. All right, so let's talk about the next few plays. I'm gonna go on the other side, but we're gonna take the opposite. We're gonna take under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for Logan O'Hoppe. Logan O'Hoppe, a very good batter, but for some reason has not been hitting well. 90% under this line the last 10. And he's been going against my man Seth Lugo, who's a right-handed pitcher. And he's been not doing too well, actually. Seth Lugo has been actually hitting up, but I think he has a good matchup against the Angels, and particularly his pitch rig's not too bad. Look at that batting average for a fastball and the slider, two of his main pitches, but also the sinker. Obviously, between the two, the ones that he probably get hit up the most will be the sinker and the slider, but the fastball he does pretty goddamn well. I think, Lugo will have a bounce back game against an Angels team who's not been hitting too well against right-handed pitchers. Just take a look at O'Hop. O'Hop is one of these examples. The other thing, too, is for some reason, O'Hop has not been getting too many plate appearances. 2, 4, 4, 2, which is good, man. We don't want him to get as many plate appearances as possible. And that's primarily because these guys have not been hitting well. So they haven't been getting too many rotations in their batting order. And I think Seth Lugo at home can bounce back and possibly do well in this spot. I mean, even though I'll say this, O'Hop has done a little bit better away. These numbers where he's done very, very well were, last month in July, beginning of July, at least in the last few weeks or the last few times he's batted, he's not been doing as well against the Yankees. And you've seen some of these instances. He did well against Atlanta. He had one game against Colorado. And this is in Anaheim, though, so you can't make the excuse that it was in Colorado. But I like this spot for another under. I think he has a tough matchup, and he's just not been performing well. So I think we could take advantage. It's at plus money as well. Another way you could play maybe is total bases, under 1.5 total bases, but super juice minus 150. Obviously, HRR, you have a lot more options, so you're going to be compensated accordingly. But yeah, let's go. I like Logan O'Hop on the other side for under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And all right, guys, before I go to my last one, man, make sure you go down below, go take a look at that pinned comment, give you guys a nice discount. If not, you want a free week or a way to tap in with us for a longer term, just go into one of our partner apps, sign up using our code or link, and just message me on Instagram or my email, and I'll get you out of for a free week in premium, man. All right, guys, so let's talk about it. Last play on the board. I'm going to talk about it, man. My boy, Kyle Harris. I'm not a big Kyle Harrison fan, but I do think he has a really good matchup today at home against the Chicago White Sox. Kyle Harrison over 4.5 Ks. If you're on some other apps like Prize Picks, you'll probably have to do 5 flat. But if you're on a sportsbook for a little bit more juice at minus 140, minus 150, obviously go on FanDuel, minus 148. Don't do minus 157, 155. Go on FanDuel. I like it because, look, he's been doing very, very well at home, man. 70% over this line, 20%, 64% in the last 20 games. Been pitching pretty deep into games, 5-6 innings, good enough. And he has a really good matchup, man. I mean, he's pretty average, I'd say, or a little bit above average in terms of the K rate. But the White Sox have not been hitting well. Been a pretty high K rate team the entire season. And in terms of the walk to K rate, I mean, these guys just swing the ball and they miss. But they don't walk too much. Either they get hits or they strike out, which is why their BB to K rate is so low, one of the lowest in the MLB. Pretty high K over the last 30 and over the season. In terms of the pitch mix, he throws primarily the fastball and the slider. You take a look at some of the strikeout rates at some of these guys, pretty high. Slider, also pretty, yeah, some guys in the 40s, 22%. I mean, mid-20s, that's pretty good. And then the last pitch he kind of throws is the changeup. And the changeup, not as good, but at least the main two, the fastball and the slider, I think my man Kyle Harrison can definitely get there. He has a really good matchup against these White Sox. And I think this number is just too low. 4.5 is a very low number. If he goes through 6 innings, which I think he definitely can, he has a really good chance. Let's take a look at the last few times. Houston's a tough team to strike out against. Minnesota, a really tough team to strike out against this season. And the Rockies, they're actually like league average. So, I mean, it's obviously a miss for him. But in these other games, in the second time around, he got 11 on them. Atlanta, he got 6. Philadelphia, tough team to pitch against, 5 strikeouts. Cincinnati, they've been a decent team to strike out against. Pittsburgh, they've been striking out a decent amount. Arizona, very tough team. The Nationals, they've been also a tough team to strike out. So, I mean, he's gotten against some pretty tough matchups, gotten the job done. But the ones that were very tough, Houston, Minnesota, tough teams to strike out throughout the entire season, especially Houston, Minnesota. I mean, they've had K rates below 20%. And he got 3. So I think in a matchup where these guys are one of the worst teams against the strikeout rate, he has a decent pitch mix. And the number, in my opinion, is pretty low. He's been averaging 5.7 strikeouts at home over his last 10 games. I think it's an extremely good matchup. It's His average is above this line. Of course, it's paying a little bit of a juice, but I do like this spot for Kyle Harrison to get over 4.5 Ks tonight against the White Sox. But there you go, guys. Those are the 3 plays. If you've been enjoying this content, please shoot me a sub. I'm just trying to get to 1,000 subs so we can keep on coming up here and dropping gems and get monetized at some point, man. Honestly, I want to keep on coming and dropping more content. But yeah, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. Let's go crush it this week.